Kia ora, Seppo here from Caveman Bets with a betting preview of the Raiders versus the Bengals. Now this line has moved quite a lot. It's not a great bet, but I do like the plus 5.5 now for the Oakland Raiders. Now this is going to be a very interesting game. I think it's going to be one of the more close games in this wildcard round, where there could be a blowout here or there, especially Chiefs-Bucks kind of thing. But we'll get to that a little bit later. This under at 48.5 at the moment is looking pretty good, but both of these bets I would go a unit at most, maybe half of a unit. You can't really trust this Bengals team yet. They've not really gone to the playoffs. A little bit of adversity, but not really too much. Used to winning a lot of these people in college. One down year last year for some of them. I don't think Jamar Chase is going to go off like he has. I think part of the reason this line is, instead of 4.5 to 3.5, it's at that 5.5 number because of Jamar Chase and what he's done the last few weeks. But this Raiders team, especially that pass rush and therefore their overall pass defense, has been coming to play quite a bit. Max Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue is just really playing well. I think playing the run as well, pretty well. And that's a key to defeating this Bengals team. If you can stop the run a little bit and still get to the pass, you're going to be pretty well set to be close in the game. So I don't see this as going to be a 10 to kind of 7-point win for the Bengals. I see this as either being a close win for the Raiders, a close win for the Bengals, or a blowout for the Bengals is the only kind of worry there, where Carr just looks terrible the whole game for whatever reason, can't really connect with Waller as he couldn't last week, and I would not go against Renfrow, but it's possible that they just don't have that connection for one game. This Bengals defense comes and goes. I think they play better against bad teams than they do against good teams, as most teams do. But you can see Bengals against the Chargers, what happened there with Herbert just lighting them up. And then, Raiders versus the Chargers playing that same team. And, they dominated for a lot of that game. And Raiders are kind of on the come up, whereas Bengals just every week you don't know. And that's part of why you can't really go too hard on either the spread or the total, because this Bengals team being so inconsistent, so young. A lot of these teams with players, even if they're not rookies, just even in their second year, the stats are not great for that first game in the playoffs. Zach Taylor as well has not proven anything really in a playoff situation, especially in the NFL. So we'll have to wait and see on this game. Live bet wise, if you see the Raiders pass rush is really harassing the Bengals, I really think this is a good live bet on the Raiders. If the Bengals' first 5 to 8 pass attempts go really well, Burrow's got time to set his feet, or really creative play calling, he's got him with a lot of space kind of out wide, this is going to be a rough game for the Raiders. If Burrow has to change his footwork, change his timing, especially early on in the game, this is not going to look good for the Bengals. So this is more of a live bet situation than anything. Pre-game, I'd say a unit or two at most. Now, for the best bet on this game, I've got Josh Jacobs over 59.5. Might have moved to over 60.5. Whereas Mixon is in the mid-70s. I can understand that. Not a bet I want to make, but you can understand. This bet should be in the mid-60s to possibly low, but Josh Jacobs is going to get carries. The Raiders are the away team, going to want to establish a run. They have a veteran team. Jacobs is playing really, really well lately. I don't think he's going to get, those hundreds, because the Bengals' rush defense is not nearly as bad as both the Chargers and Denver. Denver's especially underrated in how bad their front seven, especially their front four, were this year against the rush. No real big bodies, no push, no negative plays for the offense. Whereas this Bengals team, it's not nearly as bad as that, but it's not as good as the numbers say. Averaging mid-fours yards per carry against this Bengals defense, who are one of the lower teams in rush attempts against. Part of this is that Bengals team getting into some blowouts, especially against some bad teams, once in a while against a good team. But, when you hit 40-some points against the Ravens, a lot of those were deep passes and things like that. You're not going to have the ball much. Some of these teams that they're playing against, matchup-wise, what was more the reason why teams did not rush on them. And some of that was Jamar Chase and Burrow. And, you don't know. This could be another blowout, 38 Bengals to, 27 Raiders, but I don't really see it. I think it's either going to be a 20-point Bengals win or this game's close. This is less than a touchdown. This is a field goal. So, Jacobs, to recap, I'd say 2 units. Maybe 3 to 4 if you're feeling really risky. For the spread, plus 5.5. A unit, possibly 2, but I would probably wait for some live bets. So we said, look at that pass rush, see what's going on, 5, 8 pass attempts. Let there be a little bit of a sample there. See if this pass rush for the Raiders, which has been just dynamite the last 6 to 8 weeks, gets to Burrow. That's going to be the key to the game. So get on that Jacobs bet before it gets into, 63 to 66, whereas I'm quite happy. 59, 60, 61, I would say, would be the max here as far as value. Anyway, more videos coming soon. Kakite.